Alright, greetings. The reason I'm sweating right now is I was outside walking through the park and everything and saw a young high school footballer, not young, I guess he's his last year footballing now, going into it, American football, and he was running some hills. Decided to join him. It's good times. Prior to that, actually, I had run into a couple of Zimbabwean ladies. Was it Zimbabwean? From Zimbabwe. I'd left there maybe 2000 or so, and so naturally, knowing nothing about Zimbabwe except for the monetary stuff, I asked about their money and that sort of thing. They gave some nice insights. It was good, very interesting. This video is pretty much to honor philosophy, and particularly going into economic and monetary philosopher, and in honor of all those minds who helped to build a dialogue and a discussion about it for all of us to ponder and reflect upon and enjoy the views. And one of the latest consolidator of economic and monetary ideas is Fofo. So for this, I would like to go through the Return to Honest Money, read some excerpts, and perhaps add some comments or thoughts of my own. Alright, well, starts off, this is posted Wednesday, May 25th, 2011, the Return to Honest Money. The first line is, what is honest money? Question mark. And I think that's really why I see Fofo as a philosopher. In that sense, that's really what the philosopher does. At the beginning of it, if we were to think Socratically, we want to get definitions, we want to know, so we can be on the same speaking terms, not worrying about semantics, something which I find very strong feelings against when it comes to the term gold standard. It's a big matter of semantics. Anyhow, so what is honest money? And what does it mean to return to honest money? So a couple of times he'll repeat his definition, but Fofo says, my definition is that honest money is simply money that does not purport to be something it is not. All these negatives and whatnot, whatever. Okay, well, it is what it is. We shall see. As Aristotle wrote, he later remarks, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. So, removing oneself and gazing, observing, entertaining it. Fofo says, I do believe that we are in the process of returning to honest money. I believe this transition is necessary, natural, and inevitable. In brackets, unstoppable. And that last part is why I sit back as an observer rather than getting worked up as an activist. To my way of thinking, all you can do now is take action to preserve your own wealth as we roll on into this brave new world. So I'm in the hard copy version, without even any images. I can't remember what images were in this one, but and also no linking. You have the mobile version, perhaps, of a page. This is the hard copy version of the page, so even less interactivity. But I think it's worth repeating. Fofo says, I believe this transition, this process of returning to honest money, is necessary, natural, and inevitable. Necessary. I think that's interesting to ponder. And natural. I think that's the beauty of all this. Even, it's about this phenomena. And I go through this, I like to see the phenomena that kind of seem to be. Maybe they're not. And I do need holes filled. Quote unquote. You dirty, dirty. Interestingly enough, Bill still mentioned Fort Knox again, among the other names. And the next part here is subtitled "Sell the Gold in Fort Knox?" ? And so I think that's an interesting one to think about as well. I have no comment on that. And ultimately, I don't think it matters in a certain sense, in the free gold sense, because, as Fofo and others may have said before, gold it's more valuable in the private hands, not in the public. So therefore, not being in Fort Knox kind of means it's in some sort of private hands, I would imagine. But anyhow, I still really don't have much comment on that. I don't claim any type of expertise in anything. I'm just enjoying these thoughts and ideas. Well, anyway, there's a lot about Ron Paul, and I think it's interesting. Did some research and such, and you can just go through that. I found he also mentions again later the here it is, Indicium. You might remember the video I used in my Indicium post. That was a 1983 debate between Ron Paul and Fed Governor Charles Partey. In it, Congressman Paul argues for the gold standard, while Partey explains the value of a floating gold price. In the video, Partey said that he wanted the Gold Eagle coin as an indicium of public attitudes toward financial conditions in the country, and that you destroy that indicia value when you have a gold standard. What do you think? Does this sound at all like Robert Zoellick's recommendation to use gold as a reference point? Well, shortly thereafter we get to the famous Fofo's Dilemma. I'm still hoping to hear people's thoughts on Fofo's Dilemma and its validity as a phenomenon or not. Fofo's Dilemma. And again, kudos to MF. Good wording and good thinking to consolidate it into that. Fofo's Dilemma. When a single medium is used as both store of value and medium of exchange, it leads to a conflict between debtors and savers. Fofo's Dilemma holds true for both gold and fiat, the solution being free gold, which incidentally also resolves Triffin's Dilemma. And I think here, the major point here is this premise. Because this is it. And Fofo later says here, this must be viewed in the context I laid out in the debtors and savers. It's not only important, it's the key that unlocks the view. So this premise of debtors versus savers as a delineation of classes rather than poor and rich, I seem to see it as a valid delineation, and one which really has some phenomenal causal correlates, effects, I don't know. But it just seems like it really makes sense here. So the debtors and the savers. That's a major premise here. If we don't see that, I don't think we can go any further, right? So, the problem being that the single medium is being used by both of these entities, debtors and savers, and they are naturally conflicting. They are in contradistinction to each other by virtue of their natures, and separating that into parallel media for the recurring duality of money, of store, these aspects of medium exchange and store of value, this recurring duality of money, getting the parallel two monies resolves, the solution being free gold, right? That's the name for the parallel money system that is inherent to this earth, as far as I can see. Back to Ron Paul. He says some interesting stuff about legal tender laws and repealing legal tender laws. Then we get to two monies. So, I find the Coinage Act to be interesting, and I think we'll end it with the Coinage Act. Established a bimetallic dollar standard for the United States. The dollar was defined as both a weight of 371.25 grains of pure silver and or a weight of 24.75 grains of pure gold. a fixed ratio of 15 grains of silver to 1 grain of gold. Anyone could bring gold and silver bullion to the mint to be coined. And silver and gold coins were both to be legal tender at this fixed ratio of 15 to 1. The basic silver coin was to be the silver dollar, and the basic gold coin the $10 eagle containing 247.5 grains of pure gold. So that is it for this. I'm going to stop it and then continue with the next video, so it's not just one giant, because I don't have that much capacity, I don't think. Alright, Fofo's Dilemma. Think about it and really think about it.